You know, after 40 years of living on a cattle ranch, I thought I'd seen about everything: floods, coyotes, even the occasional city guy getting his SUV stuck in the mud, but nothing could prepare me for coming home from Denver and finding a padlock on my own gate looking like it belonged on a prison, not on a piece of my property. And there she was, a young woman in a beige blazer, face red as a beet, holding the key like she'd conquered the entire valley. "You no longer have access," she barked, waving a stack of papers in my face. "From this time forward your road is ours, and so are the rules." That's how my ordinary Thursday became a standoff with an HOA president who thought she could fence me out of my own house. Let me back up a sec. My name's Earl, and after 3 days in Denver with my daughter and her kids, I was looking forward to a quiet drive home, maybe even catching a bit of sunset over the mountains. My neighbor Jake was supposed to keep an eye on the cattle, so I wasn't concerned, but coming down that familiar dirt road and seeing my gate chained up with a brand new industrial lock, I just stopped and stared. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a declaration of war. Standing there in my worn-out jeans and cowboy hat, I felt out of place against this woman who looked as though she was ready for a board meeting, not a ranch. She had heels on, for crying out loud, like she expected to find a Starbucks somewhere in the pasture. "That's my gate you've locked," I told her as calmly as I could manage. "My cattle need to get through." She just looked me up and down, nose wrinkled like I was the interloper. "You're Earl Withers, I presume?" "I'm Marikika Langford, Willow Creek HOA president. As of today, your access to this road is revoked. You've been trespassing on HOA property for years." You know what I mean when I say my blood pressure spiked. 40 years using that road, long before any HO showed up. I reached for my bolt cutters and Erica's face turned the color of a stop sign. She started shouting, threatening to call the sheriff. "You cut that lock, you're going to jail." I realized right then this wasn't about a lock or a rule, this was about power, about someone who got a taste of authority and wanted to see how far she could push it. I could have smashed the lock right then, but I've learned sometimes you win more by backing up and finding a smarter way around, so I put the cutters away and went home the long way, 8 extra miles over rocky back. He grumbled, I explained, and he just said, "Give me until morning." By sunrise, Miles called back with a chuckle, "You're going to like this. That road's more public than Main Street. County never transferred it to the HO. They have no legal right to block you. In fact, you might have a stronger claim than anyone." Armed with that, I strolled the disputed road, running my hand over the fresh HOA property "Do not enter" sign they'd put up. I swear you could almost hear the arrogance buzzing off that metal. When I rolled up to the gate next morning, Erica was already there, phone out, ready to record. This time I didn't ask permission. I clipped the lock clean off, opened my gate and said, "Ma'am, the only crime here is you blocking a public road. Have a blessed day." If you think she backed down, think again. By lunch, she'd slapped 3 new locks on my gate and hired a security guard to sit out there at $200 a day, easy on the HOA's dime. I started running the numbers in my head. That's nearly $6,000 a month. And with 47 families in the HOA, that's about $150 each just to keep me out. I knew it wouldn't take long for neighbors to notice. Sure enough, a couple of days later my phone rings. Hank Barrett, a soft-spoken accountant, 3 houses down. "Earl, what's this about?" "A security expense. HOA fees are going through the roof." Then Doris Kellerman, 75 and sharp as a tack, calls to say people are whispering, "Earl, there's an emergency meeting tomorrow night. You'd better be there." That HOA meeting, man, it was a circus. Erica standing up front with her PowerPoint spinning wild stories about how I was a danger to the community, lowering property values, the whole 9 yards. Hank cuts her off. "Why are we spending $6,000 a month on security without a vote?" Room goes silent. I stand up, lay out the real math: security, legal bills, lost contracts, all adding up to a $300 fee hike for each family that did it. People started shouting, demanding records, calling for a vote of no confidence. That's when Erica lost it, told the room if they didn't like her decisions, maybe they should find somewhere else to live. That silence, that's the sound of someone losing all their power at once. Doris stood up, calm as ever, and said, "Young lady, I was here before your HOA, before your development, before you were born. If anyone needs to leave, it's folks who think they can rewrite history." On my way home that night, I realized Erica had set herself on fire and handed me the matches. With Miles's help, I petitioned the county to make me the official maintenance authority for the road. Every pothole I'd ever filled, every snowstorm I'd plowed, all documented and ready to go. 3 weeks later, county clerk calls, petition granted. That road was mine, and the sign went up, Park Road, maintained by Earl Withers, authorized vehicles only. Erica showed up fuming, accusing me of theft. I just handed her the county papers. "Ma'am, I'm collecting usage fees now, $5 per trip for non-adjacent property owners." The guards left. The community realized what was happening, and the calls started coming in, not just from neighbors, but from a Denver reporter, and even Erica's boss at Westfield Development, who had no idea she was moonlighting as a dictator. Things spiraled fast. The Denver Post ran a story. Doris's videos went viral, and suddenly Erica was famous for all the wrong reasons. Then one night someone cut my fences and left the gates open, dangerous, expensive, and a felony. My security cameras caught it all. Erica herself pounding on my mailbox, screaming, I am the HO. The police traced it right back to her, arrested her at the next HOA meeting, and that video was the talk of Willow Creek for weeks after that. The community came together, demanded resignations, dug through the finances, found out Erica had been spending HOA money on lawyer security, even her own personal expenses. By the next meeting she was out and Hank took over as interim president. I had the right to charge road fees, but instead I offered a deal: apologies and public support would wipe out the fees. Almost everyone signed on. Erica meanwhile was left facing charges and looking at real jail time. But you know, sometimes the best win isn't crushing your enemy, it's helping them learn. I told the crowd I'd drop the lawsuits if Erica agreed to work on my ranch for 6 months. Unpaid to learn what real responsibility means. She accepted, and it was rough at first. Her designer jeans didn't last a week, and the first rainstorm nearly sent her packing, but day by day she started to get it: feeding cattle, fixing fences, learning that authorities about serving, not bossing. In July, one of my prized bulls got tangled in barbed wire. Erica didn't hesitate, jumped in the truck, helped me get him to the vet, probably saved the animal's life. She finally understood why access matters, why you fight for the right to do your job. As her time wound down, she told me she'd been offered a job with the Colorado Agricultural Preservation Trust, helping protect farmland from the kind of development her company used to push. The day she left, the whole community showed up: potluck cake, speeches about second chances. Erica handed me a check, all the money she'd saved, but I told her, "You've paid enough, help others avoid these mistakes, that's worth more." 6 months later I got a card from Denver, a photo of her next to a sign reading, "Henderson Ranch, protected agricultural land." She wrote, "Thanks to you, I learned that real power is about helping, not controlling." Looking out at my open gate, the road running free, I can't help but think sometimes the longest way around really is the shortest way home. Now I got to ask, have you ever dealt with a power-hungry HOA or been blocked from something that was rightfully yours? Did I go too easy on Erica, or is there more value in giving someone a second chance? Share your story. Let's hear where you stand on justice, authority, and what real community means.